Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it's the only thing that I ask. So, quite the week. One of the big highlights was obviously the ceasefire deal that has happened in the Middle East. Um, I love the spin of the media trying to say it was all thanks to Biden. A person that basically doesn't know if it's Wednesday or Thursday, yet he managed to mediate a deal like that. And, curious enough, it lasted all this time. And as soon as Trump gets elected, all of a sudden, everybody wants a deal, everybody wants everything everywhere. But no, it was all Biden. Sure, even his administration has thanked President Trump for his role, calling it crucial. By the way, this is the Biden administration, huh? This is not some random guy on YouTube. And if you listen to all the leaders of the parties involved, meaning from Israel and from the others, they basically only talk about Trump. It's like the other people were not even there. So that tells you all you need to know. Now, I hope that the same thing happens in Europe very soon. That would be obviously very important. But a lot of things have happened this week that, as I've said, they lay the foundation to the future. So, as I've said, the fundamentals happen right now, and then the narratives are created as the fundamentals turn into green price action, which is what we want, and then the narratives come later and justify what has happened, while in reality what has happened is happening either right now or in the recent past. So Trump also said that he's going to make crypto and Bitcoin a national priority, and is even considering an altcoin reserve. So basically, this is everything that we ever dreamed of, that we never thought would be possible. If you would go back in time, I don't know, 2 years, people would probably laugh in your face. If you came to say, hey, by the way, guys, in 2025, all of these things are being at least discussed, you would be laughed out. Probably people would try to send you to a mental asylum and say, or please, drop that little thing that makes you laugh, right? Be careful, otherwise YouTube may not like what I'm saying. But you all know the drill. So all these things are happening right now. One of the most important things is that the business cycle has pretty much bottomed out, which means Trump will ride the wave of improving business cycle conditions. This is where you see the ISMs, etc., where you see that they pretty much have bottomed. I think he's going to see better inflation than expected. I think people will start to price in more rate cuts. And I think you're going to start to see more efforts for peace across the globe, more deals, etc., etc., all the good stuff. Now, this is very relevant, mainly from an humanitarian perspective and also from an economical perspective, right? Not just about the markets, but the fact that people can finally stop, falling apart in several regions of the globe. I think it's helpful for everyone, particularly the ones who are doing the falling apart. You see, usually people have a lot of opinions when they are sitting in the comfort of their own room, of their own houses, and they don't need to do any of the fighting, because if you're a person doing the fighting, or if you have children doing the fight, your children doing it, all of a sudden your perspective changes quite dramatically, right? I think, sorry about that, guys. Trump he talks about 20 things. In reality, I'm throwing away the number 20, by the way. It's not, why 20, why not 19? I mean, just a number, okay? I think he has 5 things that he really understands to be priority. Number 1, this is not by order of importance, but I would say he would like to see 5 of the 20 things happen. Number 1, make sure that the US is a leader in the new sectors of the future economy, crypto and AI. I think that his message is very clear. One of the reasons, you see, then the oil and gas is a consequence of his vision, because he knows that we need oil and gas to power up the future of AI, in the sense that you're going to need twice as much electricity in the US to make it a true capital of the industry. Now more people saying, oh, AI is all hype, AI is all hype. Yeah, people said the same thing about tech stocks. The US was willing to take the risk. Guess what? All the most valuable companies 20 years later are all in the US, and they are all tech. They are all the companies that were supposed to be garbage and a pipe dream back in 2000, and now they lead the world. See what I mean? So I think what Trump wants to do is make sure that for AI and for crypto, this happens as well. Although crypto is not a company, obviously, but you get the point. That's why he's even talking about cryptos that were founded in the US. So he's viewing that. So that's number one. Number two, I really think he wants peace across the planet. I think he has a profound dislike of war. And also, wars are inefficient. They cost money. He doesn't like it. Number three, he wants to secure Greenland and Canada's alliances. In the case of Greenland, may be an outright purchase. In the case of Canada, there's a rumor that is going to create something similar to what you have in European Union with Canada. That is very important because you would you would basically combine the financial power of the US and the financial power of the US dollar with the unlimited resources of Canada. Now that's a very scary proposition for the rest of the planet to be left behind. And also Greenland is filled with resources and strategically is actually located in very important doesn't really matter, but for very important purposes. So that's number three. So number one, I think to make sure that the US is the leader in these two new industries. Number two is peace around the world. Number three is strategic alliances or slash buying of land like Greenland. Number four, I think it will be connected with number two. I think it will strike a deal with Russia, and then basically push the Europeans to start buying oil and gas from him instead of the Russians. And I think that basically making them more dependent of the US rather than from other parts of the globe, which means in the future it creates better situations for the US. And number five, he knows that China is now very desperate for stimulus. What is the problem right now? They cannot start printing as long as the dollar is too strong. Will he try to have some sort of Plaza Accords 0.2, which were very beneficial for the US back in the 80s? I don't know. I think he'll try to push for it, but I think he understands the leverage with China, so he wants to handle them in the proper way. So I think those five things will be the most important ones, and obviously then the rest comes. We need lower interest rates, which is already talking about, and we need lower dollar, which is already talking about. Now moving into the markets, it's amazing, right? TLT bottoms, the bond market bottoms, the bond market stabilizes. Guess what? All the risk assets go up. What a surprise. Not for you that follow the channel, but what a surprise for everybody else. This is what I've been saying all along. As long as you stabilize that market and basically make it go a little bit higher, then risk markets do particularly well. Crypto pretty much bottomed in that last puke out, where Ethereum was down 7% or something, Bitcoin was down 5%. And we went all the way down to 89.5 on Bitcoin. We went all the way down to 3,000, to less than 3,000 on Ethereum. Everybody was predicting much lower prices, 77k Bitcoin, 82k Bitcoin. That was giving me the feelings of a real bottom. So I came here during that day, if you guys recall, and I said, I think we just hit the bottom. And particularly with Peter Schiff by the way, Peter Schiff made that tweet about Ethereum, basically calling it finished. And as soon as he said that, Ethereum has done nothing but gone up from that point. So yesterday it was down, sure, but versus what the price that Peter Schiff tweeted is absolutely amazing. So that's what I meant by bottom signal. Now, next week, Monday, is obviously inauguration. Can we have a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Sure. I think we can have a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I think it will be short-lived and short in nature if that happens, because we already had the sell-off just now. If we would just gone up and up and up and up and up, and we would come into and we would have come into the into the inauguration pretty much only going up, then it would be a very clear buy the rumor, sell the news. That to me would be very, very obvious. But since you're already at the sell-off, most people, I think, have now sold what they wanted to sell. A lot of people, this cycle is been very different. The past cycle was everybody wanted to stay long, buy. This time everybody can wait to sell. Why? Because they remember 2021. They fail to realize. So the way that you get 2021 is because everybody is super convinced that 2021 was going to be amazing because 2017 was amazing. So everybody gets very confident. But now it's the opposite, because everybody got very traumatized in 2021. Now everybody are on their tiptoes to sell. They want to sell yesterday. Which means, and this is what I've been saying, that I give a 70% chance that actually the top comes in late September, first half of October. I've set the dates. 28 September, 6 October, 20 October are the dates that I'm looking at for the top of Bitcoin, which obviously then you have the rest of Q4, you have the big altcoin season. But to have a very big altcoin season, you need Ethereum. So, for example, if you look at the price action of Pulse Chain, and the ecosystem has been quite garbage, this is the reality over the past couple of years. This is true over the last 18 months or so. But even ecosystems that had nothing but good news, like Chainlink, even like XRP has done incredibly well, but it's pretty much gaining ground because it had no bull market in 2021. So it's gaining, it's trying to recover lost ground. I mean, I think it's still down 80% versus Bitcoin in 13 years or so. So it has quite the catch up to do. But if you look at, you have certain coins that have nothing but good news, and they're still not hitting their all-time highs, etc. Because Ethereum, when it comes to altcoins, is the big daddy. And Ethereum has pretty much lost all support. Nobody believes in it, except BlackRock, I suppose. And everybody's very against it. If we do repeat 2017, then between February and March, Ethereum should jump like crazy. If we do repeat 2017, as I mentioned before, we would see Bitcoin topping somewhere around late March, early April, with Ethereum and the alt going into April, May, maybe June. I think June maybe too stretched, but April and May. Don't forget, if Bitcoin tops in 1 month, altcoins top on average a month later, so, or at least 2-3 weeks later. So if Bitcoin tops, let's say 20 of March, then a lot of alts should have that local top around 20 of April. Some of them will extend into May. Then we would have the sell-off into the summer, and after July or so, we should start pumping to see Bitcoin at the top in October. What's going to be the top? I don't know. Take your guess. The US actually starts buying Bitcoin. The Fed says they are considering to start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. What else can be? No, Peter Schiff capitulates and gives up and says Bitcoin can go to 1 million. Price consensus at 1 million. Coinbase is the #1 download app. Something stupid comes around and all those celebrities are playing with it, like the NFTs in the previous cycle. I mean, who knows? Think about things like this. This is very important. It needs to be an event so positive that it convinces you that the 4-year cycle is now finished, or extended, or changed, or this time is different. We're gonna have an 8-year bull market instead of 4-year bear market, 4 years, etc., etc. It needs to be something that you cannot visualize. How can this be negative? And then we can play the bear market game, which is much easier. Bear markets are way easier than bull markets. So in a sense, it's amazing. I've said this before. If we repeat the 2017 cycle, at 15 January, we should start to convincingly start to go up. Amazing, to the day. To the day. Now, I tried to be cute and try to predict ahead of time Ethereum's performance, and the 4-year cycle beat me in the ass. That's what it did. So this is also a lesson for me. Don't try to be cute and try to predict ahead many changes versus the bull market versus the crypto cycle, because you're going to get embarrassed, which is exactly what happened to me. That's why I got that prediction wrong. In any case, other than that, everything has been quite positive. Very curious to see some of the executive orders around crypto in the next week. Can we have a momentarily or short-term buy the news, sell the rumor? When I say short-term, can even be a couple of hours, by the way. This is why I don't play that game. You see, I don't play that trading game. If I see some good entries, maybe I'll consider to add to my positions, to some of them. If I don't, I don't. In any case, I still think Ethereum will melt faces. I think Ethereum will do very, very well. And I think it's going to get one of these crazy pumps, like 45% in 20 days or whatever, something like 45% 20 days, something like that. And all of a sudden, everybody loves Ethereum again. Everybody, Crypto Banter is covering Ethereum. Actually, Crypto Banter never sold Ethereum. He was joking around. He's been, meeting in secret hotel rooms with Vitalik. I mean, who knows what he's going to come up with? But he's gonna try to disguise and pretend to do something in your favor. Oh, and I've seen these narratives that I would like to talk about, which is, commodities index are going up, which means inflation is coming back. Commodities going up is inflationary. Tariffs will be inflationary. The dollar will collapse. Interest rates are going through the roof. Inflation is gonna burn hot and hot and hot. These are all things that I've just said. These are the same things that were said about Trump in 2016. This is my point about the cycle repeat. I mean, it's the same conversations. It's the same themes, it's the same fears, it's the same everything. What do you think happens to global inflation if we stop all the conflicts and we have a reestablishment of supply chains appropriately? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when the biggest oil and gas producer on the planet, which is the US, starts pumping like crazy? And basically that raw material touches every single economy on the planet, bringing the cost of everything, transport, refrigeration, shipping, everything you can imagine, oil and gas touches and brings the price. I mean, it's the same stories. There's nothing really different. I mean, it's the same. Again, as long as it keeps repeating, I'm happy, because then I know what to expect. If, let's say, tomorrow we drop 50% and everything goes to crap and now everything is different, now it will start to make me think twice. As so far, the cycle has been repeating to the T, even to the day, in this case. So far, I don't feel, that crazy. Now, with altcoins, you need to understand something. Altcoin seasons, let's hope we have 2 this time, last about 100 days. I think your friend Somi covered this very well. 50 days just goes up. 50 days, euphoria. 50 plus 50, 100. If we have 2, we get 50 plus 50, 50 plus 50, get 200 days. 200 days of fun versus 4 years of exposure, which is the size of the cycle. You see, Bitcoin goes up 3 years and down 1. Altcoins go down 3 and they go up 1. But they don't even go up 1. They go up in 100 to 200 days out of every 4 years. And out of those 100 to 200 days, only half are euphoric. That's why it's so hard. That's why people get left behind. That's why people jump in and out of coins with no conviction, and they all get destroyed in their trading of positions. So keep that in mind, guys. With that, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Spend some time with your family. Go outside. Meet some friends. Have some fun. And we'll catch you in the next one.